Alright, so in today's video, I wanted to go ahead and talk about when you should start working on your artifacts, especially set bonuses. So let's go ahead and get into this. So obviously, if you don't know what artifacts do, they pretty much boost your character into doing a lot more. Say if you want them to have more attack, you give them attack artifacts, or if you want to give them a lot more health, you give them health HP artifacts, right? That's pretty much the gist of what they are. However, if you do get a certain set of artifacts, because there's different types of sets for artifacts, I can go ahead and show you right here. If I go to sets, you can see all of these different types of sets for artifacts. Obviously, the ones that are grayed out are the ones I don't have artifacts for. But as you can see right here, let's go for instructor, right? So as you can see, I have a good bit of instructor artifacts. So you can see right here, instructor pocket watch, 7.9%, whatever. This isn't necessarily the basics of gear or artifacts, right? But pretty much give you the general gist of things. You can see right here the instructor pocket watch. As you can see, the instructor set, if you have 2 pieces of the instructor, you'll increase elemental mastery by 80%. And if you have 4 of the sets, you'll, after using elemental skill, increases all parties members elemental mastery by 120 for 8 seconds. That's with both of that. You get both of the extra things for 4. And obviously, but when they mean by sets, they mean by if you go to slots, 4 of these got to be of the instructor set, right? But certain characters, pretty much, you know, you might want to build them in different types of sets, right? However, I do see the common mistake of people worrying about sets a little too early in the game than they should. I will say that was probably my issue. I worried about sets a little too early. Now it kind of doesn't really matter. Obviously, depending on the unit, right? You mainly, like, for example, Diluc. I want Diluc to be hitting for his main DPS, just hitting as hard as he can, right? And unfortunately, I don't have proper, like, his gear isn't really done yet. Obviously, I could improve it better, but I have yet to get the proper sets I want for these. So, since I want Diluc to be just DPS, I will just be giving him as much attack as possible. Of course, certain artifacts you can't get into attack, right? So, these flowers, all of them, they'll forever be HP. No matter what, they'll all be HP, right? Of course, there's different sets for those. Like, this is the Berserker set. But pretty much worrying about sets too much. So, like, for example, right? If you see yourself wanting to have a 2-set, you know, say Gladiator, right? I only have a 1-set Gladiator, and I refuse to use another artifact that doesn't give me Gladiator or whatever. And you're just way too focused on getting the substat. Only focus on your attack. So if you only have 1 Gladiator, use Gladiator. If you only have 1 Berserker, use a Berserker, right? Whatever gives you the best stats, right? Especially with your substats, because substats are really important, right? You want to roll good substats. And I'd say this, for people who are below at least level 35 or 40, I would say you could really try to start working on your 2-piece sets or 4-piece sets, whatever. Mainly because you don't necessarily need the sets right now. They're not really doing much for you right now. Like I said, for example, for Diluc, I want mainly DPS stuff for him, so I want to give him as much attack as possible. He's gonna be fine. You don't necessarily need it just yet for having the 2 sets. Obviously, I have 2 different sets for him already. I have the Berserker set and the Springtime set. The reason why I'm getting the Springtime set, because this is like one of the only things that gives you like a 1-piece set bonus. Usually they're usually either 2 or 4s, but then there's that one. And I just happened to have a 2-piece Berserker, so it kind of just happened, right? So obviously, you know, if it just happens, you're fine, of course. But like I said, once again, focusing on the sets is kind of the downfall for you. Because you're better off hunting for the 5-star, say you want Gladiator, you're better off finding the Gladiator 5-star sets when you're a higher rank. So you're pretty much just wasting your time with resin trying to find certain gear sets, right? So I'm trying to find a better timepiece, right? And right now I'm trying to find anything attack right now, right? All these time sets or whatever, they're not attack, right? So I'm just using a 3-star one right now. Unfortunately, I don't have a 4-star one, so I have to use a 3-star one. But I'm mainly prioritizing over the attack. Now, if I were to have gotten another artifact that would have, you know, say if this was an attack, right, I would 100% use this attack instead of using a Berserker one, even though I would lose my 2-piece set for this. because like I said, right now this is not important, because what really matters is when you get the 5-star artifacts, and it gives you just a better, more efficient way into using your resources. Because if you guys watched my last video, you don't want to waste your resources, because currently right now in the game, resources are very, very valuable, and you don't want to keep wasting them on things that you really don't need to use them on. Currently right now, I personally really want gladiator sets, right? That's pretty much one of the best things I want for Diluc, since I want him to be attack focused, right? But of course, right now isn't really the best time for me to do that. So let's go for example where you'd get a gladiator set. So I'll go up here to Storm Terror, and I'll look at the rewards here. So obviously right here, this is the the world rank 3 Storm Terror. So right here you could see, right, I have a chance to getting a gold gladiator things here, right? Pretty much this is the only thing, this is the only time I can ever get a gladiator, right? But then I can go over here, and it gives you a better chance on getting these golden gladiator pieces. Another thing is, so say if you want to grind out, let's say over here, right, you want to get a this artifact right here. I'm not reading that. Obviously you can't grind that out until you're rank 40. Now when you hit rank 40, this is where you can truly grind out 5-star artifacts. This is when you want to start actually caring about warrior piece sets. Now, like I said, you can't grind these out until you hit rank 40. So over here, if you're rank 35, which I'm not yet currently, I will be soon, regardless, I can only grind out these 3-star stuff, and it's pretty much the same stuff in between. Like, it's still like pretty much, it's like the same. You're wasting resources if you're focusing too much on these purples. So whichever character you're using, right? Obviously for Venti, I also kind of want Venti to hit a lot harder, but I would actually probably build him more of a exile person, which luckily I did get a set like this to give him exile. This was mainly my my mistake, right? This was like the first time I've ever like worked on a character, like by going by the 2-set standard, like going off by the artifacts 2-set, whatever. That was pretty much one of my issues I should have never done and focused on. However, it did work out in the end. So I still get all of the attack stuff, right? So this is my attack martial arts. I got that. So I'll explain this one a little bit later. I got the cup of attack. I got the tiara attack. And then obviously, like I said, flowers are always HP, right? So right here, pretty much, luckily, works out for me, right? So of course I could try and find, say, you know, obviously I already have the 2-piece with the martial arts and the exile, right? I could go to one of these sets and try to focus on the ones that only give you, oh, that's the wrong one. I'll go for, I believe, Braveheart? Let me try to figure out order. Here, Instructor. Instructor's, no, it's not Instructor. I'm trying to find the ones that only have one set. Are these the ones that only have one set? So like this, or I could just put someone on like this that only has one set to give me something. I should not care about this at all, because I want attack. So regardless of this giving me one kind of boost or whatever, it doesn't matter because I want attack. So I should not use these. This is not what I want. I could care less about the stats. Just don't focus on the sets too much. Don't make that kind of like the driving force in the beginning. You want Venti to hit hard as possible, go for just keep going for attack. If you want him to have more HP, then obviously you want to give him more HP stats, right? But once again, like I said, don't worry about the stats. Like again, Berserker, I luckily have 2 pieces of that, but that's only because that I don't have another 4-star attack equipment right now. Like I said, I would get rid of this Berserker subset as long as I have another artifact to give me an attack percentage stat. When you're this early game, these don't matter at all. But with that being said, you can play it however way you like it. Of course, you could try and go for the stats, whatever, if you want. I just think personally it's a waste of resources, a waste of time, because they really don't matter at this point in the game, when eventually you'll be able to grind out 5-star artifacts with better set bonuses, I should say. But with that all being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully it helped you in some way. If you guys want to see more Genshin Impact videos, then be sure to subscribe to the channel. Appreciate all the support as always. And with all else being said, thank you, and I'll see you guys later. Alright, take care. See ya.